So far in this lab, we've looked at the best orientation to print our cell phone stand with the amplifier. No matter how we oriented it, wasn't great. It has a long cycle time and a great deal of support. We would probably, even if we're 3D printing this, want to get the cost down. So our next step is, how can we get the cost of this part down? Well, one way to get the cost down would be to split it into 3 parts that assemble, such as these. To do that, I'm just going to Control Tab back to the full part. We're going to have to use surfaces and create some surfaces where we can cut this part and separate it into pieces, and then save each piece with a unique name. After examining my model, I've decided I'm going to split it into 3 parts. This will be one, this will be a second, and up here will be a third. So first I'm going to concentrate on splitting this into 2 separate parts that will assemble nicely. To do that, I'm going to need to create some surfaces. So I'm going to start by sketching on this face. I'm going to select this face, start a sketch, and I'll look normal to it. I'm going to zoom in because I want to focus on this area. I'm going to create 2 tabs which protrude through this or partially into it. So I'm going to make them relatively simple. I'm going to start with a rectangle. I'm just going to make a rectangle that will fit within this area. I'll mirror it over here later once I'm happy. So I'm going to push escape to stop creating rectangle. Then I'm going to zoom in and have a look at where this rectangle is. I want to make sure it's contained within this part. So I'll go back to the normal to view, zoom in, it looks reasonable. And this is just going to be a visual placement of the part. So I'm going to use my mouse gestures to activate smart dimensioning and get some sizes here. I'll make this 1/8, and this can be 80 thou. And again, I want to check that I'm contained within this structure. I'm not coming out anywhere. It looks good. I can always tweak it and move it later. So now I'll zoom out a bit. Again, I'm going to look normal too. And I'm going to dimension from the origin up. I'm not going to worry about this number too much. I'm just going to try and make it a standard distance. So let's try 3.3125. That's a little low. So I'll zoom out. I'll take it up higher. Let's see what 3 7/16 does for me. I'll rebuild. And that's not bad. Might be a bit high. So I'm going to change it to 3.4 and bring it down, and I'll accept that. So next, I'm going to leave dimension mode, and I want to add a center line. I'll zoom out. I'll just grab the origin, create my vertical center line. Zoom back in, activate smart dimension again, and I'll just dimension it. Try 1.5. I like to work with standard dimensions. That looks good. So press escape to accept that. And the other thing I want to do is put some fillets on this edges. So I'll activate fillet. I'll make the size 30 thou. The printer should see that resolution. Because again, I'm trying to think about 3D printing and the resolution of my printer. Exit fillet. I'll select this geometry. Tell I want to mirror. And I'll mirror about this line. Say OK. Have my fully defined sketch. I'm going to exit the sketch. So now that I've created my sketch, in the next video I'm going to pick it up from there and how I convert this to a surface that I can use to cut the part.